Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. So of course, as you could tell from the title, today we're going to talk about my top favorite launches of 2025. I cannot believe that the year is almost over. I feel like this year was definitely overwhelming when it came to the launches, and I didn't participate in all of them, but I did participate in enough to have a favorites list. I went ahead and picked about 10 items in like foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush, the face categories, and then 5 different eyeshadow palettes. It wasn't too hard to come up with the 5, but I did have to really think about it. Yeah, okay. If you are new here, hi, hello. I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you can click the subscribe button and hopefully choose to stay for a while. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Alright my loves, let's get right into this list. I did film clips of me applying all of the products that I am going to talk about on my list. The only ones I didn't film with are the 4 eyeshadow palettes that I didn't use, but I will pull them out and show you the palette physically. Okay, 2025 is just about over, and it's insane to think that we're going to say goodbye to it. I feel like it's been a crazy year. I also feel like it's been an overwhelming year when it comes to the launches. I know I've said that in the past for some reason. I just feel like this year it was even more overwhelming. That could just be me. Let me know if you feel the same or not. Let's get started with base products. First foundation I'm going to talk about is the Natasha Denona, the High Glam Foundation. It's a hydrating and blurring longwear radiant serum foundation. I have shade YN6, and I think this is a really good shade for me. I will say the shade range was a little difficult to pick from, but I picked a good one, so that makes me happy. But I think one of the only cons for this foundation is the shade range was a tiny bit confusing. I feel the price point was decent. It's Natasha Denona, so I feel like it's a, you know, a little bit of a higher end brand, but this foundation is so absolutely beautiful. I would say for me and my skin, it's more of a natural satin finish, maybe a soft matte, and it just looks beautiful all day long. Also, let me say the list is based upon my likes and dislikes, my skin type, where I live, so there's so much that goes into factor as to what I personally enjoy. So if some of these products you don't enjoy, that's perfectly okay. This is my list, and it's going to vary from every person that you watch. Just a little FYI, because I know sometimes people get upset when you say something is amazing but it didn't work for them, or vice versa. Yeah, the Natasha Denona foundation, Chef's Kiss. There were so many good ones. Another one that is on the list, and if I had to pick between these two, the Natasha Denona would be it, but the Victoria Beckham. Now, let me first say the price tag. Definitely get it on sale if you can. Don't pay full price for this. When it comes to how beautiful this foundation is, I cannot lie. It is gorgeous. Gosh, when did it come out? I think it was still a tiny bit warm when this came out. So far, every time I wear this, I think my base looks so good, amazing. Like, I literally look in the mirror by the end of the day before I'm washing my face, and I ask myself, what foundation am I wearing? Because it's that pretty. Not worth the $110, but it's pretty. Shade range, she could do better, but we already know Miss Victoria, she yeah, so the Victoria Beckham made this list, and I think I picked some 2 good ones. I feel like the Natasha Denona could possibly be a little bit more of a full coverage kind of product, and the Victoria Beckham is more of a skin tint like foundation. 2 completely opposites, but they both work so well. They made the list. For concealer, I could not pick a favorite. I feel like they're both different, but also a tiny bit similar in a way. I couldn't pick which one I prefer over the other. I might have to do a little side by side, which in the demo I did. I used one concealer on one side. Which one? I think I used the By Terry on this side and the RMS on this side. And both under eyes are looking pretty much identical. So that's why it was hard to pick just one favorite concealer. And I already told you which ones they were. So let's talk about the By Terry first. I've slowly been dipping into the brand, and so far everything I have tried from the brand is absolutely beautiful, which sucks because By Terry is definitely a higher end price brand. But this concealer, oh my goodness, this concealer, it's lightweight, it's serum-like, it's smooth, it blends into the skin. Now, don't expect full coverage out of this. Is it beautiful? Yes. And I feel like it probably caters more to maturing skin, but you already know if you've been watching me for a minute, I enjoy a very light under eye concealer. So I had to make the list because it's honestly that great. The other one, the RMS. It's very similar. I think you could probably get a tiny bit more coverage with the RMS than you can with the By Terry. I don't know. I just feel like as far as consistency, how thin they feel serum-like, they sink right into the skin. They all have very similar claims as far as performance on my skin. I haven't compared the claims side by side, but performance-wise, it's very, very similar, close to identical to the By Terry. I think though the RMS shade range is better than the By Terry. I feel By Terry has to work a tiny bit, especially when it comes to complexion, on the shade range that they have to offer. These two made the list. Now the About Face foundation and concealer, I just purchased those during Black Friday sale, so I can't sit here and say that they're the best because I've only been using them. I think I've used them 3 or 4 times. I have a feeling that they're definitely going to become a favorite. Okay, now we're gonna talk about bronzers. I didn't have any contour on this list. There is some really good ones that were launched this year. I've been loving the ABH. I think Shadow is the shade that I own. And I've also been loving the Haus Labs one. But I didn't feel they were amazing. Like, wow, knocked my socks off to put it on the list. For today's video, I did go into the Sachu Liquid Contour in shade number 2. And for cream bronzer, and the product that made it to the list is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Sensual Skin Bronzer in Golden Hour Medium. I think there's only 3 shades. Kevyn Aucoin is another brand that does need to work on their shade range, but this, you could see how much I have loved this bronzer. It's like a cream to powder formulation, so you can use this on top of powder if you wanted to. It just blends out so nicely. The formula is beautiful. It stays on all day. It's perfection. It totally is perfection. I enjoy Kevyn Aucoin as a brand. I've been dipping my toes a tiny bit more into the brand, and so far everything I've bought from them I absolutely love. Yeah, so this bronzer, I think it's so underrated. Not too many people reviewed it, and it needs to be talked about because it's that good. Okay, now for powder bronzer, since we are in the bronzer category currently, is the Laura Mercier. This is the Bronze Color Infusion in 20 Marcel from Laura Mercier. I saw a couple of people review this, but not too many. And I mean, you could tell there was an LM right in the middle and it's gone. You can see how much I have used of this. I believe there's 5 shades, but for some reason only 4 are available on the Sephora website. But wow, just wow, this is so pretty. Both shades are just so pretty. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it does build up really, really well. It's not too orange. I feel like it's warm, but it has a little bit of pinkiness to the tone that it looks perfect. Absolutely perfect. I feel like it's definitely my favorite. It's the one that I feel I have used the most and I keep wanting to pick up. Let me know if you tried it. Said I feel like not too many people talked about it. I didn't buy too many powders this year, and I feel like I usually don't. I bought a couple, but the one that really stood out is the Fenty. This is the Bright Fix Instant Brightening Blurring Powder. I have the shade Rose Quartz 02, which is a pretty light pinky tone, rosy pinky tone, but I've been using this so much. It's so lightweight. It's not drying under my eyes, and I do have pretty dry under eyes. It just lays down so nicely. I have used this quite a bit. You can start to see a dent in it, but it's so good. I was afraid I wasn't going to enjoy this because I feel like Fenty Beauty base products are hit or miss when it comes to and I feel most of the time it's just too dry or too cakey for my personal taste. But this one, it impressed me. It literally knocked my socks off. I have seen a couple of people say they don't enjoy it, but for me it works perfectly and beautifully. All right, my loves, we're almost done with this list, and then we'll move on to the 5 eyeshadow palettes that I picked for 2025. Face products. We have 2 more left, and the Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit palette, but this is the one that I was able to personalize to my taste. And this is my perfect Hourglass palette. I have used this so much, but this is a like baked formula, so you can't even see how much I have used this palette, but I have used it. Okay. This is a bronzer, this is a highlighter, this is that glowy finishing powder that everybody, well, almost everybody loves, and this blush here. So the tones I picked are the diffused light for the finishing powder, diffused bronze light for the bronzer, at night for the blush, and opal strobe light for the highlighter, and they're just so perfect. I mean, so perfect. This is like travel friendly, and every shade in this palette works absolutely amazing for me. I do enjoy the holiday palettes that I have purchased from Hourglass, but usually what tends to happen is there's 1 or 2 shades that I don't absolutely love. But when this was provided to us, unfortunately only in the US, I was so excited because I literally have my perfect palette for me and my likes and dislikes and my skin tone. And I hope they bring this back, and I hope they bring it back for everyone, not just for the US. Yeah. This made the list for one of my favorite launches in 2025. Another one is from Dior. I feel like Dior has definitely stepped up their game, even though they are reformulating a lot of the products to take talc out of the equation. I feel like they've been doing a great job. The new bronzer was also really nice. Yeah, the 2 powders that they launched, I also have been really enjoying those. They've been hitting it out of the park for sure. This one here, which is the Dior Forever Glow Luminizer, and I'm pretty sure this is a reformulation. Just the packaging, everything about this launch was so perfect. I have the shade 02 Pink Halo, and I enjoy my highlighters to be more on the natural side, glow from within kind of finish, and this one is just so perfect. I've been loving this so much. You can definitely tell that I've been using it. The logo is almost gone. Yeah, it's so pretty. I feel like Dior is definitely a luxury brand, I should say, that I personally really enjoy and is probably at the top of my list. Top 5 for sure. But yeah, these 2. All right, my loves, the last 2 products are lip products, and MAC Cosmetics lip liners made this list, but because of the nude collection that they dropped. So the nude tones in the lip liners that they gave us, I purchased 3. Cool Spice, Stone, and Greige. And out of those 3, the one that I have used the most is Greige. It's just such a beautiful contouring shade. It's not too gray, and it's just so perfect. I feel like just about with every lipstick that I have paired it with, it works perfectly. Just like the lip combo that I have on today, I absolutely love this lip liner. Okay, now for the lipstick or liquid lip, I feel like I tried a good amount of lipsticks this year. At the end of the day, the lip product that I have used the most this year is the Maybelline Teddy Tint. And Pinky Promise is the one that I used for today's demo. And it's just, this formula is so pretty. And they did come out with new tones, and I do want some of the new tones. I just haven't taken the time to really look at them. I just feel this formula is so pretty. Now, it can get out of hand. So my perfect way of using it is applying it and then smudging it out with my finger. Because if you do put on too much onto your lips, it can feel sticky. Right now, it does not feel sticky, and that's because I really blended it into my lips. I currently have 2 shades, and I've been using both shades so much since I purchased them. It's a good launch. Maybelline did fabulous with this. Let's move on to the 5 eyeshadow palettes that I picked for 2025. All right, so I did bring you in a tiny bit closer so you can look at this eye look. I did film a clip of me creating this eye look, but I don't remember if I did a close-up. Yeah. So the first palette we are going to talk about is what I have on my eyes, which is the Danessa Myrex Lightwork Volume 7 Freedom Palette. This is my very first eyeshadow palette purchased from Danessa Myrex, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the reason for that is because the other palettes did not have any mattes in the palettes. This one does, and I am so grateful that it does because it makes this palette a lot more complete. Now, I will say if you're somebody who has issues with shimmers and creasing and fading, these formulas, some of them might not be for you. I have found that the Lit glitter glue works perfect for my eyelids that have now been giving me a lot of issues when it comes to creasing and fading. Gosh, there's just so many beautiful textures in this palette. The mattes perform beautifully. It's an overall wonderful palette. It's a pricey one, but for me, I feel the price tag was totally worth it. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is from an indie brand. I've slowly been dipping my toes into more indie brands in the past year, 2 years, and Unearthly is one of the brands. I think it's one of the first brands that I started dipping into. A lot of the beauty content creators that I personally watch, they review a lot of indie products. I've been hearing about Unearthly. It used to be, was it Alien Cosmetics? Yeah. It's a brand that's been on my radar and finally decided to try it. I want to say it's been 2 years now. But this year they came out with the Murky Meadow palette, and this is such a beautiful palette. You want to talk about my perfect color story? Right here. I could do something so simple that I can use every day, but if I'm in the mood for a pop of color, which sometimes I am, this neon green one, it's so perfect. It's so beautiful. The pigmentation on it is just fabulous. Unearthly, I would say, is definitely a favorite indie brand when it comes to eyeshadow palettes on my list. But yeah, this one is just so perfect. So perfect. And it's a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. You all know how I feel about smaller eyeshadow palettes. It's just what I prefer. I pick up these palettes more than big palettes. I just feel like there's just too many shades in a bigger palette that I want to use, and it's just easier for me to come up with a look when it's a smaller palette like this. Okay, this next eyeshadow palette might be a tiny bit of a surprise to some of you, but I've honestly and truthfully really been enjoying this palette. And it's from Chanel. It was part of their Bouton collection. The 219 Bouton Couture, that's the color story. So pretty. It's a very boring quad, but I feel like every single eye look I have created with this palette has just been so pretty. And out of all of these Chanel eyeshadow palettes, or quads I should say, that I own, this is the one that I have picked up the most. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. And when I wear this, as beautiful as it looks when I first applied it, that's how it looks by the end of the day. The formula lasts so well on my eyelids, and with all of the issues that I've been having with my eyelids creasing, that's a very good thing. This formula just works amazing. Yeah, a really good one, and I'm glad that I love it because I think I paid $80 or $85 for it. So okay, just 2 more, and Natasha, she made the list. I don't know if she made the list last year, if I even put any eyeshadow palettes on my list, but this one is such a pretty one. It's the Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone palette, and I have the color story. I think it's Dramatic. So she came out with 2 of these, one a little bit lighter. So the lighter color story, I think, only has 2 shimmer shades, and one of them is like a very sheeny, like Chanel texture kind of shade, and another one might be, but I think it's like a dark shade. I don't know, but the layouts are different between that palette and this palette. Here you have a complete row of shimmer, and there is a couple of different textures to the shimmers, and every single one is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if it's the color story. I don't know if it's just because it's so simple to create an eye look with this. I love this. I have used this quite a bit since I purchased it. Anytime I'm being lazy, but I want my eye look to be beautiful because the shimmers do help in that department, I pick this up and I create a fabulous eye look. And I love the layout because each row has a different tone. It's just, I feel like she did a much better job with this layout than the lighter one. She should have kept the same layout for the other one that she did for this one. I don't know why she didn't. I'm telling you, every time I create an eye look with this palette, I get so many compliments. And it made the list because I want to keep using this. All right, and last but certainly not least, and this is actually a fairly new launch, but I knew from the moment I saw the color story that I was going to become a favorite. And I think I've had this palette in my possession for 2 weeks, maybe a little over 2 weeks, and I've already used it like 6 or 7 times. That is the Artificer palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. I believe I have 3 or 4 palettes from Fantasy Cosmetica, and out of all of them, this one is my absolute favorite. If you're somebody who enjoys just simple eye looks, this is perfect because all of the mattes, there's 3. Yeah, just 3. So you can either go with a very neutral kind of eye look if you use these 2 mattes, or if you want to add a tiny bit of warmth, just use the orange. And that's it. Like, it's so simple. And the shimmers in here, wow, they are so good. The only one that I'm not like a huge fan of is this one. Only because it's like a little bit glitter heavy. And not in a bad way. Not that ugly formula that people dislike from ColourPop, and myself too. But it does have, I hope you could see it, glitter speck. So it does look like it's pure glitter, but it's just a little bit more refined. And that's it. It's just the perfect little palette, honestly and truthfully. And it's an indie brand, and I think it's very slowly becoming a top favorite in my book. But yeah, I also love the size. If I had to pick a perfect size for palette, it would be this size or maybe a 12 pan. Yeah, okay, that's it. That was the last eyeshadow palette. I only went for 5 because there's too many to pick from, and it can get really hard if you add more. I think 5 was a good solid number to pick for favorite palettes, according to me, that launched in 2025. Okay, that's it. I feel like I've been talking forever. All right, my loves, that's going to be it for this video. It was so much fun coming up with this list. It's also so much fun going back and looking at all of the videos that I have done and which products I have tried, because sometimes you forget and then you see a video that's almost a year old and you're like, oh yeah, I tried that. Where is it? It was fun, like I said, to make this list. Let me know some of your favorite launches of 2025. I kept the list short. I did this video last year. I don't remember how many palettes I included in that video. I don't remember if it was 3 or if I just didn't even talk about eyeshadow palettes at all. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. I've been trying to be a little bit more mindful about how much I purchase. I don't need every single launch, you know? But yeah, okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the little clips of me using all of the products on the, well, not all of the products, but most of the products on this list. Yeah, I had fun. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate every single one of you, the comments, the likes, the hypes, everything. I'm just so grateful for all of you. Okay, with that being said, do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you all on my next video.